Hi all, I hope you're all having a lovely day. This is the Indian movie critic and today we'll be answering the question. Is Lokah Chapter 1 Chandra worth rushing to the theatres or is it a bit overrated? This will be the first video that I'll be publishing over here and my objective is to create videos that are short, unbiased and definitely worth your time. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Oh, and no spoilers. Okay, the first thing I really love about the movie is that despite the fact it's a South Indian superhero film and it has been gaining popularity for the fact, it's taking a rather subtle approach to the whole South Indian and superhero thing. Sure, the movie is deep in South Indian mythology and folklore, but it doesn't ride the coattails of the fact in order to please any identitarian group, nor does it try to chase the cringy trends of the declining superhero genre. In fact, the movie has a definite edge to it, unlike the safe and anti-superhero flicks of mainstream Hollywood and Bollywood, and feels very mature in its approach to the genre. And similar to Marco before it, this movie in terms of its budget is punching way above its weight class. While I'm not sure about the exact budget figures here, I can tell you that this movie looks and feels better than most films of its ilk, with only a fraction of the budget, and in doing so sets a good benchmark for effective film budgeting. My only gripe is that some of the locations, especially the streets and alleys, feel a bit fake and look more like sets than actual lived-in spaces. That being said, the quality of its top-notch visuals, action set pieces, and the star-studded cast more than make up for it. And speaking of the cast, oh boy, here we go. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but Kalyani Priyadarshan cannot act. There, I said it. And for this movie particularly, I feel like it's less of the fact that she cannot act, which I still maintain, and more about the fact that she has been exceptionally miscast for this particular role. The film requires Chandra, our lead, to be the nonchalant, stoic, badass heroine. Think Sarah Connor, Celine, or a Hammer Girl, but Kalyani, in my opinion, lacks a screen presence or the gravitas to pull off something like this. See, I understand I pissed off a lot of people earlier with my remarks about Kalyani Priyadarshan's acting skills or lack thereof, but let me throw you a little bone here. Kalyani Priyadarshan, despite her lack of acting skills, does do a phenomenal job with her action sequences. At no point did I feel like she was pulling any punches or holding back or didn't have the physicality to execute a certain sequence. In fact, all the action sequences in the movie are executed really well. There is no excessive shaky cam or quick cuts or obvious undercranking, and like I mentioned earlier, the movie does have an edge and does not hold back on its violence. All that being said, this movie is not a proper action movie. There are action sequences, but those are like short, brutal, and effective. See, the issue with this movie is that the film is more concerned about the world building and setting up of the cinematic universe to the point that I don't even remember what the actual plot of the movie was. Chandra, our lead character, comes to Bangalore to accomplish something, but yeah, I feel like that went to the wayside as she gets caught up in the side plot involving gangsters and the police, which then becomes the main plot. This only gets unceremoniously resolved in service of a post-credit cameo scene, while Chandra herself just fucks off from Bangalore, probably for the cameo in the next movie, I guess. Not the best way to structure a film, I guess. So, would I recommend the movie? Definitely. Is it a bit overhyped? 100% yes. But is it definitely worth the watch? Also yes. See, despite its myriad of flaws, especially involving the confused main story and the rather poor casting of the main character, the movie does have enough originality and tons of creative flair to stand on its own and carve out its own niche in the superhero genre. I hope maybe next time Kalyani could brush up her acting skills and maybe the filmmakers wouldn't be so focused on creating a cinematic universe and rather on creating an actual cohesive movie. So yeah, that's my take on Lokah Chapter 1 Chandra. Until next time, follow the page or channel. I'll see you next time. Bye.